Champ, that's the king, Pendle breed. Take off like Dacos, give the man a chance. The fly we trust, yeah, that's real. Ain't a bottom side, nah, that's still.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of Moving the Magnets for season 2026. Moving the Magnets is proudly sponsored by TSNL Neon, Melbourne's trusted signage specialist for commercial LED and neon signage. For more information, the link is in the description. Guys, how do I sound? Can you guys hear me nice and clearly? We're just having a few audio issues leading into the commencement of this show, so I want to make sure that's all good. But I feel like the last 14 days, every introduction to the stream, I say we're getting closer and closer, and we are. Inevitably, we are getting closer and closer to Sunday, the 8th of March, 7:20 p.m. And there you go, Benny, right on cue. Another day closer. That's exactly what it feels like. So for those who aren't familiar with how we run Moving the Magnets at Pies Footy, it's essentially a live reaction to the teams coming out. What we'll get tonight is live extended teams at 6:20 p.m., which will tell us a bit of a story. We will know who's around the mark as to who may or may not be selected. Sometimes there's a few dead giveaways when it comes to the balance of the team, so that we can ponder on that. And then tomorrow at around 5 p.m., there will be also the announcement of the final team. So we will also touch base on that once that comes out. We'll be streaming Moving the Magnets Part 2 for the announcement of the team. So that's really exciting. Final calls as well, guys. Or maybe I'll save it for a bit later, but the tipping competition, $10 entry, minimum prize $300. And I will be sure to share a link in the chat. If you guys are watching this post-production, you can also send this or get the link from, there's a post in the community tab on the channel. I will just quickly reshare that if you want to be a part of that. Where's the link here? Bang. So as soon as you make payment, you are or will be sent a link via email. So I'll put that there for those who are wanting to join that. But guys, the early birds here. What are we hoping for tonight? What do we want to see? Obviously, we've done the Predictor 23, which I might even bring up here just to see if there's any late changes that we have in mind here. So we have agreed, and I think, you know what, guys, I'll be honest, I think Cochrane is spelt without the E. So I think that's how it should be placed. So what we've got here. Does anybody want to make any final changes to this going into this extended teams announcement? You got Cochrane, Steen, Buller as a club debutants. Players who are missing or are going to miss, who you'd think would be in the conversations when Fly is speaking to the coaches department. That's what I want to know. So hold on, let's go. How close is Parker? How close is West? Does Ed Allen, does he have to play? Sullivan has had a great preseason. Harrison, I think we're a bit more accepting of going the slow course with him. And Will Hayes is probably around the mark as well. That team is close. It is a close one. Absolutely. I'm intrigued. Sometimes Fly likes to throw a spanner in the works when we talk about selection. This time last year, I think Oleg Markov was in the picture until he wasn't. I think he sustained a shoulder injury leading into the game against GWS. Ed Allen played opening round. I think Ned Long was introduced either against Port or GWS. Hey, Tim. All good, mate. So I sent you an email 2 days ago. So I'll send it again now. I'll resend the email I sent to you, Tim. It might be in your junk email because there's links in it. So let me just re-forward it to you. Reply all FYI. Tell me if you get that email. I won't read out your email over the stream, but I've just resent you the email. Let me know if you've got that from your end. Okay. End times. I think there is a lack of excitement surrounding the Pies coming from the team and supporters. Well, I don't think we know what level of excitement the players have end times. And maybe the supporters have been led in a different direction by the media. We do like to say or think that the media doesn't affect us, but naturally I think we're tempering our expectations. We're winding it back a bit because of the narrative, the external narrative, but guaranteed the internal conversation at the club would be, we think we're a premiership worthy side this year. Chat, question to those here. Would you agree that the club internally would be saying, hey, sky's the limit this season? Or are they saying, we're not super excited about this season. We haven't recruited well and we're not excited about the draftees. We don't think our 25-odd-year-old players can take it to the next level. We don't think Geordie's quite there. Darcy's not going to be available. Bruzzy's not going to be. He's going to be a shell of himself. What do you think they're leaning into? Because I don't think it's the pessimistic side of things, is it? I think we're going to be positive, but more important than being positive is being realistic. And I don't think premiership glory or setting that as the bar, working towards that's realistic, no? You know what I mean? You got it, Timmy? All right, good. Beauty. I've actually just gotten another email here as well, so I've got to make sure that I'm on top of it, guys, because we're on a time constraint, aren't we? That's true. It's late today. I was going to yep. Okay. All right, cool. I'll be able to respond to that one after. Stuart, if you are not confident of winning, you shouldn't be here. Going into this game, am I confident as much as I have been in the last 12 months? Maybe not. But we do at the same time need to see. We need to see some things from the club, from the players on Sunday. I think we're coming up against a real hungry side. That's the reality. And there's so many ways this game can go, in my opinion, when it comes to what we get out of it. So we've seen the worst case scenarios in opening round because we've been on the receiving end of it. Thanks, GWS. It'd be nice to be on the other side of it. So let's just wait. Hang tight. Do you think Pendles or Perryman could play in the back line and Josh could play in the midfield on Sunday? Says Chris. Chris, I think Pendles will play in the back line at some point. Perryman will play almost exclusively in the back line. Nothing in pre-season indicates that he'll play anywhere else at this point. And Josh will play some midfield time, would be my tip. I just don't know how much. What do you think, Chris? Paz will be talking about winning every game and not doubting. Spot on. It's pretty easy tipping this week. You know what? While we are working towards 6:20 p.m., why don't we do our tips here? ESPN footy tips. Bang. And where are we? I think I need to sign in on this one. Log in. Bang, bang. Oh, that's great. Got to make sure you guys get your tips in. Who are we tipping tonight, by the way? Is it a Carlton or is it a Sydney? I mean, I should know the answer, right? I should know the answer if we're all Collingwood fans. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know. There is a place in my heart where I have some hatred for the Swans for obvious reasons. Most recently, that being 2022 prelim final, or I did catch a bus there with some friends, and that was painful, wasn't it? That was a tough one. Okay, how do I tip? I will share my screen. Share this tab. No, not yet. How do I tipping? AFL. All right, let's get our tips in. Share this tab instead. Here we go. Excited to see the Swans humble the Swans humble Carlton. And Sydney 5 or so goals. Sydney by 10 goals. Sydney 35 plus. Benny, not telling you my tips. I want to win the $1 million you promised. Not quite $1 million. Not quite $1 million though, is it? Okay. I think you probably think this 9% is purely just Carlton, isn't it? To be honest. And then Friday, the 6th of March being tomorrow, Gold Coast Geelong. This is a tough one. This would be, well, let me leave this one for a second. GWS vs Hawthorn at NG Stadium. The Giants just do opening round so well. I know they're missing some key players in Callahan and Tom Green, but Hawthorn don't have Will Day. I might just given GWS's opening round record and familiarity at the ground, I think you just have to. I mean, that's a tip there. In that case, I'm going to go Gold Coast because you can't pick too many Smokies, can you? Brisbane versus the Dogs at the Gabba. I reckon this is another Smoky, and then bang. I like that. I think the Doggies, they've got a point to prove. Lions historically are slow starters after grand final appearances. So I would tip that although they've got a couple new players wearing their jersey or Guernsey, I think this is a chance for the Doggies to do a job. And then Collingwood, of course, 62%. So the Saints are slight favourites, by the way, mind you. I like Josh as a full-time midfielder with Nick and Pendles playing full-time in the back line. Oh, and Pendles plays full-time in the back line. I don't think he'll play full-time in the back line, Chris. I think the split will look very different to last year, but yeah. Memos, what's going on, my friend? Stuart says, I know I don't like Carlton, but I do have a deep hatred for Sydney. Yeah, their fans left a sour taste in my mouth, metaphorically speaking, when I was there. So I do have a special place in my heart for them, for some hatred, that is. Okay. So, wait, does this give you live odds if you change? Oh, that's cool. All right. So if I'm right, $10 wins 300. Cool. You sometimes forget. I don't know. For some reason, this feels like a proper round because you forget about these teams, don't you? Like a lot of these teams are bottom feeders, respectfully. Essendon, Melbourne, North, Port, Richmond, West Coast. So it's just really they've just got the best of the best coming up against each other in opening round. I need to submit my tips. Bang. Done. I reckon I'm on here. So I've gone 3 home teams and Collingwood's at the G's. So, D's. Some man. Same man. I'm from Sydney and I can't stand their fans. Most are a bunch of plastic bandwagons. Well, I know there's a strong pool of Sydney fans in Melbourne as well, right? Because they're originally from South Melbourne, aren't they? Got to go with the grand final centre square lineup. Better balance. Nick, JDG, and Pendles. I think that's where we'll lean towards to start the game, or potentially instead of Pendles, like a Ned Long, to see how that works. So that's an interesting one, guys. By the way, two different to me, already making it differently. Don't worry, man. I've got you in the bag, Benny. If anybody wants to jump on and have a quick word before the teams come out, I will share a link as well. Anybody's welcome. If you want to share your thoughts on team selection, there it is. I've got the link there. So, whatever you want to talk about, whether that's the selection, the game, the season as a whole, You're welcome to jump on and have your word. Interesting, not differently. Oh, making it interesting. Yep. I got you, Ben. I'm with you, mate. I'm with you, kind sir. What else can we look at here? Go back there. And then we'll go back to predicted 23. Is there anything I would change? Like, this is what we settled on. I think Anderson's nursing an injury, but like if he was available, he would definitely be in that conversation in the meeting. And like these two guys, these two kids as well, at some point they're going to be they could be asking a question. Most certainly. Absolutely. I'll go back here a bit. It's a bit. There we go. Happy days. There it is. What does a small ball team look like though? Like if Cochrane doesn't come through, you're looking at something like this, aren't you? But surely a debut for Cochrane is imminent, don't you think? What's the feeling on a Twilight Grand Final, Tim? I personally I'm a traditionalist, so and I like that you have the whole day to work with, and I think the grand final was perfectly placed where it is now. I don't know that a grand final in the twilight time slot just feels odd. Reminds me of COVID as well because that's what they did for the Richmond Geelong grand final, didn't they? So I would be opposed to changing what has been for such a long time. And I genuinely just like and prefer the game to be during the day. What are your thoughts, guys? If I forced you to make one change to that prediction, what would it be? Good question, Benny. Great question. If you had to force me into a change, what would it be? Well, mate, you're asking the hard pressing questions. Low hanging fruit could be this. I mean, Membry's going to be the scapegoat at some point, so I think is that fair? Do you think Naz gets a tag, Chris? I just don't think the Pies really tag in general. So Cochrane out and Ed Allen in is another one for sure. For sure, Des. Absolutely. Stewie, you reckon Perriman will run with Naz? Well, what will happen is Naz is going to play in the forward line. So you're saying when Naz is in the forward line, Perriman will play on him? I think Quaynor. Who do you think gets first dibs on Naz when he's in the back line? I think it's Quaynor. And if that doesn't work, then I think it's Braz. And if that doesn't work, then maybe it's Perryman. I actually have Perryman as my third preference in who plays on Naz in the back line. You got Quaynor and Naz as well? What do you reckon? What else, guys? Braz? Chris Talbot? Steen out for Allen is popping into my head now, but I do lean towards the team we had. Yeah. And before anybody comes in and loses their mind saying, oh, as if you dropped Membry, as if you think Membry's going to be dropped, I'll just put him back there. There we go. Yeah. So I would personally go Quaynor on a Naz. What else are we thinking? So who would play? So you think Frampton gets Marshall? You think Braz gets like an Owens? Perryman gets Sharman? Quaynor gets Liam Ryan? And Houston and Jacobs will get Higgins and who else is it? Who's their other small forward? Max Hall. Has Steen ever played as a tall defender? I don't think so. Not in his time. But as that roaming ruckman, if he's going to replicate what DC does, he'll be asked to rotate here. Expecting good weather so we can play tall. Okay. 4:30, perfect in my opinion. Melbourne would be crawling with people for luncheons, big build up through the day, bite the bullet and do Aussie artists pregame, international artists halftime. Game would finish at 7:30. Yeah, I guess like I said, mate, I think I'm more traditional when I like to lean towards what's been. I mean, it's probably not the biggest difference, 4:30 versus as opposed to 2:30. It's only a couple hours, so it's not the be all end all. But yeah, I'd probably lean on leaving it as it is. So that's what I reckon. That's what I reckon. And then so tomorrow we'll have tomorrow will be main training for those who are wondering. I'm not sure, probably be like 9:15. They'll go for about an hour and a half. You'll know pretty quickly when the teams come out in their black and white. Then we'll know almost certainly who's going to be in that team. The captain's run on Saturday. The teams will be announced tomorrow anyway, so it wouldn't matter too much. You'll know by then. Jumping on, Ben? Easy, mate. IQ to Naz because he's quick. Other than that, Brazzy to Belt. I'm with you, Timmy. I'm with you, mate. You would change Will Parker for Rowan Steele if you had to make a change from what we've already put up, Chris Talbot. That's cool. Fairs. We are less than half an hour from finding out what the extended teams are. So excited to see what that looks like. Very excited. I'm hoping I'm probably going to jinx myself, but I dare say my camera is going to overheat, even though I've got a fan on right now. So at some point, the camera will change to the MacBook. So just be mindful. If I disappear, I'm still here. It's just the camera would have overheated. Still pre-season for this camera. I need to get another fan or something. What's everyone doing for the game? Are you guys going to the G? Are you watching with the family? Are you watching it by yourself? I think for those who are new to the channel, I'm like 70%. I like watching 70% of the games at home with the family and then 30% going to the games. Like I had an opportunity to go to the prelim. I had some tickets available, but I passed on them because I just wanted to watch them at home. Is that weird or is that fair enough? Is that a bit odd? Tell me, chat. Talk to me. Watch at home so I can watch GP before. GP before. What's G? Should I know what GP is? Oh, the Grand Prix. Sorry, are you talking specifically about this Sunday? Yeah, fair, Stewie. That's fair, mate. Wouldn't blame me for that. Yasu Stefanos. Dikanis File. Yasu Gidia. Older, so TV for me. Just got tickets to the Brisbane game. Huge. Easter Thursday, Tim, huh? Yeah, Grand Prix. That's the one. Yep. Okay, let's do this. Benny Zero.
Hey guys, how are you, mate?
Hold on, I can't hear you. 1 second. Hold on. Bear with me, mate. I know what I've done. Greatness, welcome. Here we go, Benny. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you. Hey, where'd your scarves go?
Oh, I took them off the door. This is a last-minute impromptu one. Trophies and everything are back in the cabinet.
Is that a cherry blossom tree?
It's like a Lego bonsai tree.
Yeah, right. Very nice.
It's hard to tell.
Oh, that's elite. I think you showed me that the other day, didn't you? Did you show me that the other day?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Right. Mate, what's the vibe today? We're a few days out. Has the vibe changed or where are we at?
Yeah, I was just in the park with the kids chatting with some of the dads and they're already talking, oh, you excited for tonight? And it's not even our game, you know? And I'm like, yeah, footy. It's like finally properly here. So that's the vibe I'm getting just, around town kind of thing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those ones I mean, for some reason, I say for some reason, when, Carlton are in the state they're at the moment and they're playing, I will inevitably just watch that game and see what happens. And, I said to a friend earlier today, I said, you know what, like sometimes you have to accept that we do love to hate certain teams and you have to have that. Like it's part of the whole dynamic of being a sports fan.
Yeah. I find as I've gotten older, it's like this soft side of me has come out, and because
No.
it's probably because I've worked with players and I appreciate individual players more and more, that I find it hard to hate teams, but at the same time, I love to beat them. That's how I now look at it, you know? So the hate has become like, I just want to beat them. And I really look forward to beating certain teams like Carlton, Brisbane, Essendon, Hawthorn. But I don't hate anymore, you know, because I see more the players, I think, you know?
Do you have a second team? If you had to pick a team that wasn't Collingwood to be your team,
Yeah.
who would it be?
Yeah. So growing up, I used to go to a lot of Essendon games with one of my best mates. So I have a soft spot for them, but I cannot stand to lose to them either, you know, because it was around that era, the 2000s, where they were killing it and we sucked. So that still lingers, but for their sake, and you know, the guys who I hang out with, they're really good supporters, you know, not jerks. So I really want to see them enjoy the footy again, you know.
Yep.
The other team would be the other part of my family goes for Melbourne, so I have a bit of a soft spot for Melbourne too. But it's not so it's not so soft that like, oh, I accept when we lose to them. I freaking hate it, mate. Nah, hate it.
Essendon's an
Teresa
interesting
reckons I'm
one.
wearing different. Oh, I'm wearing different stuff, Teresa. I've got my premiership shirt on today. I promise.
She's
Same
clearly
beanie though.
taking notes on your appearance every time you make the stream as well now.
Yeah,
Very
I've got to be careful
observant
now.
are you, Teresa?
I'll have to dye my hair from show to show as well, I think.
Yeah. There's not much happening in Perth, so she's making some quite obscure observations about what happens in this world. She actually just went back and checked. That's
Yeah.
funny. My
No, I didn't.
team,
I
Benny.
had a gym top. Yep.
My team, I see Tim has said his other team would be Freo, and mine is Fremantle as well. For the longest time growing up, I've just been infatuated and a real admirer of Nathan Fife's game. So very incredibly hard to go past Nathan Fife and the Freo Dockers. Maybe there's some part of it where because they haven't been largely successful, it's easier to like teams that haven't done well. Like the teams I hate, it goes in phases for the most part. Like I had this hatred for Richmond when they were good. I had this hatred for West Coast when they were good. I had this hatred for Hawthorn when they're good, but they're kind of always good. Geelong, you know what? Come to think of it, they're not the first team in the front of my mind where I go, yeah, I hate these pricks, even though they've caused us some heartache over the years. Brisbane, not so much either yet. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've got you know, that real anger, residual anger for Brisbane from 2002, 2003. But you know, you get over it with time and stuff, and knocking them off really helped. So that's kind of subsided a fair bit. But you know, like there's also teams I think I get sick of seeing win, and Geelong are constantly up there, and sometimes I just get like, oh, you know what? I've seen enough. You know, let's watch someone else be up for a little bit. You know, let's swap
Yeah.
them out for North for a few years and see how we go.
Yep. That would be nice. Janet, I see a comment. I just had me get there. Plus, I get vertigo if high up in the stands. Not fun at all. No, that doesn't sound great. But watching at home is just as good, in my opinion, these days. You tried to sign up for your footing tipping. I saw, Janet, you signed up at 5:30. So thank you. After the stream, I saw your email as well. I'll send you an email back with the footy tipping link and the password. So I'll make sure to do that as soon as this stream finishes. So thanks for joining. Benny, how do you rate your chances in the footy tipping comp?
Mate, if I go on past history, I don't do the best. Look, I'm not the worst either, but like I very rarely have like a 3 out of 8 round or something like that. But a little bit, I mean, if Collingwood are winning, that's free tips for me because I always tip them, you know? It's just like, well, why bother? Even if I think, oh, this is a tough week, I do the fly. Oops, sorry. I do the fly route and just go, nah, we're going to act like a winner, and I'm tipping them anyway. So if they're doing well, my tipping does well or better.
I'm telling you now, this was maybe I included this in the finer details of the competition. Maybe I didn't. If you tip against Collingwood, you are disqualified from the grand prize. if you tip against Collingwood at any point in time this season.
There you go. You could see people doing it tactically because they know we're tipping them and they need to get ahead. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my chance. We know Ben and Anthony and some of the others, they're going to tip the Pies, suckers.
Yeah.
I'm tipping Brisbane or Sydney, whatever, and they try and get some tips up on us.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of people have Essendon connections and as their second team, and then there's Stephanos in the chat where he says if you have a second team, you're not 100% committed. There's two polar ends of the spectrum there.
That's why I said I don't have a second team. I have soft spot teams. You know,
soft spot for the Bulldogs because my great uncle followed them and the Rose family ties. But if Pies went a route, I probably wouldn't follow anyone anymore. Soft spot for Essendon. Married to Essendon supporter. Still like to beat them.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say something quite crude there, but maybe I won't go there. But if you're picking up what I'm saying, I'll leave that there. I hate Freo almost as much as Carlton. Well, you do live in Perth, right? So do you hate West Coast as much as you hate Freo then? Or are they just different cats? Same town as Dave Mundy, great guy. You can like the teams, but doesn't mean you have to be a fan of that team. Zaza says, my second team is Bulldogs. Always had a soft spot for them. Voidoid, Essendon as well. Yaswa Andoni, there he is. Some more, as the season gets closer and closer, more familiar faces are coming back into the chat. We love it. We love it. I don't have a second team. I just feel for my son over his dismay when they lose. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would affect the synergy in the house. No,
that's why you got to make sure your kids go for your team, like I did. Get them in early, day one.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable, that's for sure. Benny, you asked me a hard-hitting question at the start. You said if I had to take out a player out of this predicted 23 and put one in,
who
would that be? And I'm gonna reverse Uno you. I'm gonna ask you the same question. Who would you take out if you had to pick one player?
I'm gonna answer it as if I'm try to be in the mind of Fly and the selection team, who I think they might take out of this, and it would probably be Steen out for probably Sullivan or Allen. Probably Allen though. If I was trying to think a bit like them, and they're not going to go the way we go, it's probably Steen out for Allen. But like I said, I still think I prefer our team, but they know better than us.
Don't you dare say Lipper. Don't worry, he lives to fight another day. He's had a good preseason, and he looked really good in the midfield when he was in there.
He's impressed us. I'm not going to pick on him for another week at least.
At least. The rope is short with Patrick Lipinski, huh?
Yeah. We'll give him some grace this week.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sullivan weasels his way into the team this week. I'm telling you that much.
Yeah, no surprise at all. Exactly. Like I said, I was trying to get into the selection head. And so, yeah, Allen or Sully could easily pinch that last spot there on the bench.
Can a mod block? She's after your head, mate.
Is that like some sort of divide by zero thing?
Yeah. Who's your BNF? I'm gonna add to this. Besides Nick, besides DC and Josh, who's your next in line?
Probably. Oh, sorry, did you say besides DC and besides Josh?
Yeah, and Nick.
That's a bugger.
No. I'm going to make it even more difficult for you. Give me your top 5, and I'll put them. I'll put them here.
The top 5, but it can't be Nick, DC, or Josh.
No, you can include them if it's a top 5.
Okay. I'm going to go with my last year's Smokey, and it'll be IQ. He'll be in there in the top 5.
Where?
Let's go 4th. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it'll be. I'll go from top to bottom. I think it'll be Nick, Josh, DC, Quaynor, and Gonna take the injuries into account and stuff. Jamie Elliott. I'll play it a little bit safe. I was thinking in my head it could be a bit of Schultz this year, or even Geordie could sneak in this year with a full season, but the injuries kind of throw me. It's like, oh, I won't place bets. I'll
Hold on 1 second.
I'll go the
Hold on,
safe
hold on,
way,
hold on.
you know.
Shut up! These dogs are barking at the front door. My goodness. My goodness.
I couldn't hear him this
Fucking-
time.
TDK must be at the front or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that
Guys,
looks like a
how do
pretty
you
good
rate?
top
How do you
five.
rate Benny's top 5 here? Rate his top 5 out of 10. 10 being that's spot on, and 1 being that's diabolical. Vic Park, good evening.
I think jog my memory. Was Pez in there last year in the top 5? Or was
He
he
was.
close? I feel like he
He was
might have
in there.
been, yeah.
He was in there.
Yeah. So he was running through my head too, but I don't know. I just think, yeah, I think that's a solid top 5, really. But I can tell you, if our top 5 looked like Nick, Josh, DC, Houston, McStay, it means we've done really damn well, I'd say. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let me have a crack at this. Nakos, Jakos, DC, Quainor, Curry. I'm gonna do this. I'm actually gonna have Quainor out of there completely. I'm gonna have a rate.
You reckon Quainor's going to drop in quality, or someone's going to leap ahead of him? What's your
Maybe
thoughts
I
on that?
just don't think he's going to capture the votes as well as last year. For whatever reason, I'm not too sure what that will be, but I've got DC there. And I mean, Brazzy polls well, but he doesn't poll well enough. And you know what?
Ooh,
Oh,
have a look at you.
Oh,
Well, that's
hard.
a good year. It's either a really good year because he's jumped a bunch of players, or they're all injured and he's what we've got left.
Yeah.
I hope for the former.
For those who are joining in late, this is just our top 5 Copeland BNF predictions. Rate mine out of 10. So a few of you were saying 10 out of 10 for Ben. With you, but there was a few wishes in the chat that Bo should be a part of the top 5. But I do question his availability, so I'm not too sure on that just yet, and how much midfield time
Playing
he
safe
plays.
on the injuries.
Yeah, so that's probably my top 5 at this point in time. It's a little bit left field with Lipinski and maybe Shooter, but I like it. I like it.
That's the top 5 you give when you want to win some money, whereas my top 5 was paying like $1.50 or something, you know.
Safe as houses, yeah. Jeez, I'm getting a couple 5 out of 10s here. Gee whiz. Chuck these bad boys on the field.
It's a solid predicted 23, I tell you.
Yeah. I'd like to have a few. I'd like to have Allen in there. I'd like to have Sullivan in there, and I'd love to have West in there and Parker. It's just they're right there, but I don't think they're there just yet. You know, they're close.
Yeah, bless you. They're right there. They are. I guess if I could out of our whole list, add someone to this, just one player, I'd probably say and assuming they're fit, I'd say, yeah, I'd love to throw Jeremy Howe down back. Maybe not even instead of Cochrane, instead of someone else, and then Cochrane can learn with some more expertise around him.
Yeah. Timmy Nelson, if JDD plays 18 games, he'll be in the top 5. Yeah, I can see that. That's a great call.
Absolutely. I was basing it on if he plays all those games for sure, I think he'll poll well in our system. I was just playing it very safe with the sort of injury prone guys.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Ramesh, this is a bit, and welcome, brother, by the way. This is a bit like 2010 transition year. I hope some of these younger lads step up. You know, I do agree, but I did go back and have a look at sort of the players that were going through that transition. And
you had a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of it is like a lot of that's true, but we have to be mindful that 5 of those players who played in that 2010 premiership that were a part of this young group they were top 10 picks. So not to be the pessimist and play devil's advocate, but Steele side bottom, Dale Thomas, Scott Pendlebury, Nathan Brown, Ben Reed, and then even throw in Dane Beams were all highly touted picks. So
Yeah.
it's a bit misleading is what I would say.
I guess a different way to look at that, Pendles and Thomas were already established in the team. They were playing all year, so they weren't one of the ones who forced out your Lockyers and Medhurst types. It was more Beams, Jared Blair, side bottom. Obviously, he had played the previous year, but he really established himself early, and then it was his spot. So he basically took Medhurst's spot. But so I guess the guys who replaced them may not have all been top 10s, but definitely like Beams was high. Blair was a rookie. Who else was there? Wellingham. He kind of forced his way in. Yeah, there you go. Someone just said Wellingham. There you go. He wasn't a top 10 either. So I guess if we're talking about the team did have its top 10 picks, and there's a couple of top 5s actually, and the guys who replaced them that year were either people who came in from other clubs, like Jolly replaced Fraser, and Lee Brown had already been there a year. McCaffer had played the previous year too, but he really established himself in 2010. So I guess that's one way to look at it as well. Like, we had the picks, but they weren't necessarily the ones that jumped in that year to take over.
Yeah. So 2024 draftees, that being at the end of 2024, that would have been, Westy, Hayes, and Cochrane, right? Some people are already hoping or seeing or suggesting that they think the 2025 draft crop could be getting ahead of the 2024s, which I don't know. I think 2024, the verdict is obviously still out, and yes, you can make projections. I think the 2023 draft crop is probably in more strife. TJ and D Matia.
Yeah,
I think 24 and
100%.
25 have the potential to be like, yep, cool.
Yeah, 100% agree. I still have doubts Dematia is going to get a game. Like, he might get a token one at this rate, but we'll see. We'll have to see how his year pans out. Give him a chance.
Yeah. What do we got here? I don't know. I don't whether Pies can afford to just give young players games just to get experience. We need to play our best 23 if we want to contend this year, but get the argument for needing. Yeah, and look, this team here, this predicted 23 we've gone with, we're actually leaning towards the experience and the players who still own their spot or still deserve their spot. And then that's why you still see so many youngsters predicted to be, on the sidelines for at least the first couple of rounds, because these guys, as much as we want to pass this baton that we keep on talking about, you can't just throw them to the side, can you?
Yep. And you think about who would have been our emergencies last year. It would have been Markov, Hoskin Elliott, Coxie maybe. Those guys are gone now. So these young up and comers are going to be our emergencies, and they're the ones who are pushing in. So we're kind of rejuvenating the I don't want to say fringe, but just the people who are coming through, sort of just outside the team. They're being rejuvenated, and they'll necessity is the mother of invention, and we're going to get injuries, so we're going to have to let these kids have a run throughout the year, just by natural course anyway.
Yep, that's right. It's going to happen at some point. Tim Nelson, do we like Bossman Kelly trying to get his wish and sell one of our Marvel games to Queensland? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have an opinion on this. What about you, Ben?
Do we like Bossman Ned Kelly trying to get his wish and sell one of them? As in one of our Marvel home games?
Yeah.
Geez, I'd rather play it in Queensland, to be honest. Yeah.
We get a good crowd there as
hate
well,
Marvel.
especially if it's in a holiday, right?
Yeah.
The school holidays.
Yeah. Yep. So what we play someone like North Melbourne up there? Is that what we're talking about? Something like that.
Perhaps, maybe.
Or another interstate team. Make them travel. Make Freo travel from West Coast to Brisbane to play us. That's harsh.
Yeah. I do feel that our 2023 team peaked early, almost like our 07 side. My memory going back to 07 is probably not as prominent as yours, Ben. What do you see on this?
Yeah, I can see the similarities as well. 07 guys that were on the way out was Nathan Buckley, James Clement. I'm trying to stretch back as well to find these. Scott Burns. They were in their twilight, let's call it that. So we have guys this year who are kind of in that position.
Yeah.
More so than 23, I would say. But I
Yeah.
understand what Void's trying to say. Absolutely.
Yeah. Stewie, I predict Swaddling will force his way in this season as his class. He's shown good signs early, just probably a matter of just getting some VFL games into him and not rushing him. So there it is. I think our side is now more like our 2010 side than our 2013 side, says Voidoid. Danger and Cameron out for the Geelong game. Salad Marvel game to Victoria. Sparks and Donny can see a game there. Love that.
There we go. That's an idea.
That's a shout. I think Swaddling, Hayes, Allen and Steen are front of the kids this year. Next year would be more for Cochrane and West unless Cochrane impresses this year in any chance he gets.
And don't underestimate Westy this year too.
Yeah, I was going to say Westy, yes, I think Cochrane is playing due to absolute necessity. So there is a chance he fades out and he's forced to go back and play his trade and work on his craft in the VFL, which is fine if that ends up being. But I think Westy, my tip is he plays at least 10 games this year. That's for sure. 10 games, 20 goals, hopefully.
Yep, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kev, the way I see it, if two of the three in Pendle's side bottom how are not part of the 23 end of the year, then season is a fail. For progress as a club, we need youngsters pushing these guys out. Well, Kev, I'll challenge you with this. If Pendle's side bottom and Howe are in our best 23 at the end of the season and we've won a flag, is it a fail? What about you, Ben? Is it a fail?
Yeah, no. You still have to pick your best 23. And like I said, you've got to let the natural course of the youngsters come through. You can't, if you force it, you're giving up something, and that could be through resting. If someone needs a rest, let's pull them out, put in a youngster, let them have a run around, see if they can keep that spot, and they push someone else out. They might not keep Sidey out for 2-3 weeks, but someone else might be forced out if you perform. The whole point of fielding your best side as often as you can is the real idea to get through the season with as many wins and get it right. So that's what I mean by the natural course of getting the youngsters through. If you force it and just say, right, we're just dropping one of our best 23 players just so a youngster gets experience, well, that's detrimental to the team trying to win, right?
Yeah, you're right. And like I said this last year, it's, at the end of the day, like regardless of what happens next couple of years, we did see a flag in 2023. There are clubs who haven't seen flags in their entire lifetime. So as much as people are saying, oh, the cliff, well, if the cliff comes, the flag doesn't proceed before that, does it? Like the flag, if the cliff is coming, then hopefully you have a flag leading into that, that abyss that people or pundits are suggesting we may see.
Yeah, well, our cliff happens to be at the top of the mountain because we've climbed it and done it, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
right.
It's not down the bottom near the coast.
Yeah. JL from Queensland. I've been a Pies member since the 90s, and I've only ever watched half a game. The 0-2 Anzac Day game, wet day, first date with the now ex-wife. Took her back to the motel as she was soaked. I wonder if was it wet weather or was it wet weather or was it something else, Benny?
I was excited that day too. That was the I forgot the young lad's name. He wasn't even 18 years old. Mark McGough. He got the Anzac medal that year.
The one.
Yeah. That was a grouse day. I remember the score was 66-33, and I remember we caught the train back home, and we were walking near Southland, the shopping centre, and randos were just driving past, beeping and waving the Collingwood scarves out the window. It was a crazy day. It was almost like we've arrived or something.
Yeah. Okay. No lineups yet. What about? I'll check Collingwood's website to see if they've updated anything. This is where we just anxiously refresh everything. Twitter, AFL app. normally there's something on Channel 7. Like Xander's normally the guy to beat us to the mark. I know some of you are watching Channel 7 at the same time as this. So, what would a
We're
pass
chilling.
mark be for the Pies forward kicking goals? I would like to think we could get 40 from Elliott, 30 from McStay, 20 from Membry, and a spread of goals. I mean, you've answered the question for me because I totally agree with what you've just said there, G. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, and Fly was talking about the spread. He'd rather have a spread of goal kickers too. I don't know if that says a lot for our recruiting coming forward. Oop, there you go.
Here we go. Okay. All right. Where do we start with this? So maybe we just go Collingwood's list. How does that look? Okay. So Geordie's in, Crisp in, McStay, Elliott, Membry, Shooter,
wow.
Sidey, Bugsy, Ed
Wow.
Allen, Will Parker on the field.
Wow.
Okay.
What's
who's on
going
the
on? That's
extended bench?
that's very different.
Okay. So Rowan Steele is there on the extended bench. So he could be cut. Ned Long could be cut. Buller, you'd think plays. Is Westy there at all? No, he's not. Okay.
No Westy.
Cochrane, Steen, Pendlebury, and Lipinski. Okay.
Wow.
Interesting. What does that mean?
So who's out for Parker from our list? I'm just trying to. I need to see a comparison.
I've got it here. So Parker's
It's just the extended
on the
list.
field.
Yeah.
But Parker's on the field, so you assume he's playing, right?
Yeah.
Who else was on the field? Ed Allen's on the field. So we might have to do that as well.
Yeah.
And then there's an extended bench. So
Pendles was on the bench.
Yeah. So maybe Rowan Steele doesn't play. That's probably a guess. And
Yep.
Like Lipinski will play, surely. Pendles will play.
Yep.
So that's 2.
Yep.
Jack Buller will play. That's 3. So there's 2 spots left. Yeah.
Would it be Longy who misses out? Because we were saying Long and Allen are kind of fighting for the same spot.
So we said Pendles, Lipinski, and
was Allen on the field? Long was on the
he,
bench.
Yeah, Allen was on the field. So
and Longy on the bench.
And then Parker. So really, we do have to take out one of Steen or Cochrane because one of them doesn't play. I think it's Steen. Or do we play?
Yeah. Well, they picked Parker. Know. Maybe they think he's going to do that back roll, and that's enough.
Look, he's definitely not the defensive player that Cochrane can be in this situation.
Yeah.
Is that what it is then?
So that leaves Sully out of Sully and Steele out. Yeah.
So okay. That's it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Longy. It could be one of these.
Yep.
Like that's the final spot in my opinion.
And you could almost put Cochrane next to Steen.
Cochrane was named. He's here. He's on the extended bench. So we assume that Parker and Allen play because they're on the field starting. Normally, if that's the case, then they are definitely playing. Interesting. Does Jack Silvani play? Is he here? Yeah, he's playing. Okay, Silvani's playing. TDK, Flanders. Ed Allen over Ned Long is okay. Let's go. Long and Sullivan missed. Cochrane wasn't named. What do you mean? Cochrane's on the bench. Sully not listed at all. What are you talking about?
I thought I saw Sully.
He's there. And if you go all, look, interchanges. Sullivan and Cochrane both named on the extended bench.
So we've got 3 of these lads who aren't going to make it in, basically.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Buller plays. Pendles plays. Lipinski plays. Yeah. Well, if you keep the team up instead of moving around like an ADHD kid, I could see it, mate. Such is the challenge in managing a live stream as effectively as possible. Hey, you'd want Steen for the Saints. Cameron needs help with the 2 ruck rules.
That's what I'm leaning towards too.
But I've got him here without.
Yeah, you've got him.
I'm
So that
more
means,
like, okay, well, what happens here?
Could you take all those 3 out for Cochrane? Could they be thinking that? Surely not.
No, I think we need some form of midfield / maybe not a winger so much. If you've got Sidebottom, Crisp, Ed Allen there, and Lipinski, I don't think we need a midfield so much. I think Sullivan's a real chance as well. I think Sullivan's a red hot
That's a
chance.
tough one. So I guess after training tomorrow morning, they'll sort of determine who's looking hot.
Nah, I think I reckon that might be more realistic. It's one of those 3.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. Like I said, this is the beauty of it all. The spanner has been thrown in the works, and the magnets are truly being thrown around at this point in time. We thought it'd be pretty straightforward. Now there's a few curveballs, I would say.
Yeah, that extended list throws you though, doesn't it? You just really tempts you.
Steen. Some are saying they don't think Steen plays, but most of you guys the other day were saying Steen has to play. Like 90% of you. Now it's sounding
I was one
like
of them.
It's the other way around.
No, I stick to it. I still think I thought his spot was the one that might rotate out, like thinking of what they're thinking, but I still have him in.
Who says Long's VFL? Nobody says long is VFL standard, did we? Did you say that, Benny?
No, not at all.
That extended list shows we know nothing. Hey, always humbles us, doesn't it? It's great.
Yeah.
Cameron gave
One
TDK
day we'll
a
nail
bath
it
last year.
100%.
I don't know if the ruck rule changes that much. I guess we'll find out, Dr. Cod. Isn't playing Long and Allen a lot like playing Titch and Long together? I think they're a bit different. I think Allen has a bit more speed compared to Titch.
Far more.
So they can coexist, but can they coexist right now at this point in time? I don't know.
That was my big question to you last week, wasn't it? That can Allen and Long play in the same team? That was kind of my big question. So we're going to find out. And I after the weekend, I thought, yeah, it works, but not when you've got coming in Nick Dacos, Pendles, etc. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
There's trouble in the chat. Jake from Saints TV is here. What do you reckon, mate? We're up in arms with selection. We've been thrown a couple of spanners in the works. We thought the team was going to line up a certain way, and it seems like there's a few different possibilities now. We don't know if Ned Long's going to make it to the starting line. We don't know if we're going to go tall. Look, Jakey boy, DC TDK the last time they played, you may have not been watching because he was playing for Carlton that time around, but DC had his number, so we might just tell Oscar Steen to keep working on his craft in the VFL, and we'll let DC handle the business on Sunday. I don't know. Are you happy with your team, Jake? We're looking over here. We can see you got Jack Silvani, so he's in. You've got all the boys are in. The boys are in.
So all their 4 new guys are in?
Seems like it. TDK, Silvani, Flanders, and Flanran.
Yeah.
Flanran.
Good. Money well spent then if they can keep them on the field, eh? And they perform.
We need Cochrane to just stand up for a 1 week. More likely to come back against Crows. That's what it seems like. Long won't miss his Voidoid. DC takes on TDK and Marshall. Yeah. Anyhow, I reckon we'll leave it there, Benny. I'm gonna head off to the fams and watch some footy, some good old footy.
Watch some baggers get done.
Yeah. Murph's, yeah, I know.
Awesome.
Murph's flying Ryan. He's done a number on us at the West Coast Eagles. So hopefully, I mean, he seems fitter and better than ever. So that will be a curious watch. Anyhow, but yeah, I'm gonna go watch the Swans and the Blues and see what happens there, and hopefully a couple blinks of the eyes, and all of a sudden it's Sunday night and we're watching the big one.
Yep, 3 more sleeps. Get pumped, guys. It's going to be fun again. How good's this?
Done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around. And as always, appreciate you all.
Awesome.
Go Pie.
Who a champ, that's the king, Pendlebury, take off like Dacos, give the man a chance, the fly we trust, yeah, that's